Hi, welcome back to another episode of Time with Gabby. With me here is a very special guest, Brandon Roy, the photographer. How are you feeling today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. I know it's been a while since I asked you to be on my podcast, but you've been so
hmm
busy making money and finally have you here.
yeah.
So, what was your childhood like?
Right into it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It was fine, I guess. I grew up in Wainwright, which was like a small military town. Went to a Catholic school. I was raised by my grandparents. I it was I don't know, full of all the things that you would imagine that being a childhood would be, I guess. Actually I didn't really live just in Wainwright. I lived all over Canada. I lived in the
Oh,
US. I kind of flip-flopped. I didn't really have a
really?
great relationship with my mom, so my grandparents took me in, and I didn't have a dad in my life either until I was 20. So I've kind of always just been a bit of a self-starter and like do my own thing. Um, and so yeah, like I primarily lived in Wainwright, and I moved to Edmonton when I was 17, and then I went to school to study photography at NAIT. Um, and I've been a photographer professionally, I say professionally, for 10 years now. So,
Oh my God. So,
yeah.
when did your passion for photography come about?
Um, so I was actually, I originally was planning to be a doctor. I went in and like did all of my classes and everything
You
to,
went to where?
like, well, when I was in high school, I set myself up to be a
Oh,
doctor, and
nice.
like,
Okay.
um, I did like this Encounters with Canada thing where they flew us out to Ottawa and we like met doctors and they took us to like a cross cancer institute, and
Oh my
I was very
goodness.
serious about being a doctor. And then I told my family, I was like, actually, I'm going to be a photographer. And they said, there's no money in that. Don't bother. What are you doing? And um, I got accepted in photography school. I actually got accepted to graphic design, and I said, well, I want to do photography. And so my graphic design, like expires after a while if you don't like say I'm going to do
Renewing,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so then I got the photography acceptance and I moved to Edmonton, and that's pretty much been it really. I couldn't draw, but I knew I wanted to create. Um, well, it's not, I could draw, but not well, and so yeah, I just found that people wanted to pay me to take pictures, and that just felt like a natural progression, and
Yeah.
here we are.
What were your early days in your career like? Like, was it easy? Was it like, oh my God, I should have
No.
been a doctor and like
I'm
no one wants to hire me?
not gonna lie, I have never once thought, damn, I wish I was a doctor. I just like starting out is really difficult because I like when I was in school at NAIT, I was one of the few photographers who was like running a side hustle while I was in school. And like I did a lot of different part-time jobs while also trying to like support myself with photography. And so I basically would just take anything that people would pay me to do. Like um, I photographed some like weird basement weddings, and like at one point I like sold steak and seafood door to door like that.
Really?
Yeah, I worked for Sony for a bit. I worked for Canon for a bit, so I sold cameras.
Oh, nice.
I like really liked sales. I liked people, and I basically just did anything that kind of got my name out there. But as I've gotten older, I've been able to sort of be more selective in the things that I can or that I would like to photograph, and now it's just primarily weddings.
So how did you become this breakout superstar right now? Like you're out here traveling left, right, and center to take pictures of people. Like, how did that come about?
I, I honestly, I just like I call it a natural progression because I don't really know. Like, honestly, just every time I wake up in the morning and I see people have messaged me to like, or I get an email, it's just like a little dopamine. But I'm also simultaneously like, are you okay? Like, why are you picking me?
Yeah.
So, like, I've had a couple weddings where they'll fly me out to Mexico or like
Oh my God.
across Canada, and I'm like, me? Like, I still feel like I'm really young, and like, um, it's really tough because like, literally, if you go on Instagram, it's all photos. Like,
Yeah, I
and I
went to
follow so many photographers, and there's so much competition, and there's so many great people out there that I'm like, you're picking
competition.
me?
Where?
Yeah.
I don't see them. But oh my God. So, what are the challenges you face being a photographer in the city?
Um, Initially, I just like didn't have money. Like photography, I always joke. I tell my grandparents, I'm like, I could have done drugs, and it probably would have been better than having to spend money on camera gear
Really?
because it's so expensive. Um, like the very first camera I bought, I was in high school. I was like grade 10, and I dropped like $1,500 on a camera, and I was like, this is but that's a car to some people. That's a
Yeah,
mortgage payment. That's and so everything is just really expensive with it. And simultaneously, you're trying to book people who don't want to spend money on
yeah,
photography. So I think it's kind of like just having people who like resonate with the value that you offer.
yeah.
And I think that's probably the biggest struggle. Like I won't lie, when I was first starting out, like my grandparents helped me pay for my rent sometimes and stuff like that. So it was like very grateful to have them. But that was probably the biggest thing was just there's the slow months. Like we live in Edmonton, so before I started flying places or doing other gigs, like our seasons are from May till October. It's nice out, and then the rest of the time nobody wants to be outside.
Yeah, I
Nobody
mean,
wants photos
I
outside.
believe like spending that amount of money was literally a great investment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's paying off, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like you're constantly investing in yourself. Like I don't
Yeah,
think it ever
true.
stops.
So when did you get into the drag scene?
Last year, I've been sort of like putting my toe in the water for the last little while. Like I photographed gigs, I've photographed drag artists, but I've never really like fully thrown myself into it. And then last year, I was like, I just want to do like a little project. I just something small, something really intimate, like maybe eight artists I'd like to photograph. You know, in and out of drag. I wanted to show the
Hmm.
transformation and then I was thinking, well, you need diversity, and our scene has like 200 artists in it, so we need lots of people.
200 artists.
We have a lot of people,
I didn't know
so
that.
we need to make an Excel sheet. Like, just I want to see what's going on here,
Yeah.
but so yeah, I wanted it to be nice and intimate, and then I just kept adding people, and then I was like, well, people need to get paid, and I want to do this and that, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to ask these people to model for me, I want to know what doing drag is like. So I'm going
Yeah.
to try it. And so Cicely is actually a very good friend of mine. Started showing me how to do a bit of the drag makeup. And I remember taking a glue stick to my eyebrows, like, what the hell is this? Um,
You didn't help you out?
a bit, yeah.
Okay.
I won't lie. Like it was a couple times, and then I feel like I was kind of just like thrown out, and I just did it. So, um,
I mean, it looked good. I think I
yeah,
saw a video picture.
yeah. Honestly, I still have a long way to go, and I can't dance. Like I've never been a person to dance. I'm an introvert.
You can learn how to dance.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot here. There's not a lot of cushion for the pushing, but there's not much in the hips here. It's
Or
I
you can
was
get pads. I
can get
guess
pads.
majority 90% of the queens wear pads in the city. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I don't wear pads, but
yeah. I always say like if I am dancing, I imagine those like wacky inflatable tube guys outside
oh
of
my
like
god.
it's like this. That's me. Like
While they're
I
still
yeah
dancing.
yeah yeah. It's like a strong breeze. That's what it looks like.
So, how did you start getting booked, or when did you start getting booked for drag shows?
Oh, I'm not getting booked.
Oh.
Don't book me. Don't book me.
Bitch
I
has its calendar full already.
yeah, there's a lot of people in Edmonton, and I just don't think that I don't need to be here. Like I
Are you
love it.
sure? I think I think you're great. I
I think
think.
like I've put in for a couple shows. I've applied for a couple shows, so like fingers crossed. Maybe in November, a special show I might be in. But I just think that there needs to be visibility for other people who are already in the scene, and there's so many people who do it better that like I'm okay not like I
Do it better. I think, well, I believe that, yeah, majority of the photographers here in the city are literally good and like everyone should get opportunities. That's what I
mhm,
believe.
mhm.
So,
For doing like drag, um, don't book me. If you're gonna like book me to
why?
photograph your shows, I'll do that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't
sure.
want to perform. Don't book me for performing.
But this is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Like, how
Oh,
did
I
you
thought you were
start?
saying for performing. Like, do not
No,
book me
no.
for performing. I'm not. That's not for me, homie.
No, I was talking about photographing.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
When did you start getting booked to photograph for drag shows? I should have been clear.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Honestly, I just started messaging people. I was like, "Hey, you've got like." It kind of started because I had people selected that I wanted in my project, and so I was like, "Well, they're in this show. I want photos of them. I want to meet them. I want to get to know them." So I
Yeah.
messaged people, and then other people would message me. They're like, "Oh, I like your photos," and I'm there. All Tease All Shade was a big one. That's probably one of my favorite shows to photograph. I'm not gonna lie, because it's always so
Yeah.
wild. There's such a large diversity. It's not necessarily always drag, and it's just over the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, just natural progression, like I
So
said before.
what did you learn from that project?
Oh, too much, too much.
Summarize that.
ChatGPT for me. I'll just
Right. Summarize it for us.
no, it's so tough because every person in the project kind of is there to teach a different aspect, and like there's obviously lots of ways that they cross over, but everybody kind of brings a different aspect to it, and
Yeah.
that's why I love drag. And that was why I was really drawn to it, is that I feel like photography is the art of seeing and drag is kind of the art of being seen. And so I kind of thought that like I already know how to see people and like, be that third person, like that wallflower, but being seen is something that I'm personally not comfortable with and something that I want to sort of get better at. And that's why I really love drag. Is just that's something I learned from people. It's the extroversion. It's being the loudest person in the room. It's looking stunning. It's people knowing you. It's performing. It's every other buzzword you can think of that goes with drag. Like it's an awesome art form. That's yeah.
What's it like being behind the camera lens or behind the camera?
Um, it's really like that's an interesting question. I think that like um, when I'm photographing, I kind of imagine it as being like an extension of myself, and so even like sometimes I've been challenging myself more this year to just like attend shows and not photograph, and I love it. It's a different kind of energy, but that's kind of how I experience a drag show is through the lens. It's you're seeing people in this like little box, and
Yeah.
that's I
Making them
it
look
comfortable.
good.
Yeah, yeah, it's a comfortable thing. I personally like there's the performance side of drag, and then there's like the stage portrait side. I really like the stage portraiture side. I think that like the performing side, I rather video, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Aside from myself, who are your top five performers in the
Oh
city? I know I'm
no,
number one,
of course, of
but
course. I can't pick favorites. I honestly can't pick favorites because I
well,
think
just pick five, like any
just pick
five.
five that come to my name. No, I'm gonna get shade for
Name
this. People are gonna
names.
be like, "Why didn't you mention me?"
Well,
Um,
because there are over 200 performers. You can't mention everybody. Just the top five that comes to your
a really
head.
good way to tell who some of my favorite performers are to buy my trading cards.
Okay, by Brandon's trading card.
There's 28 performers, including myself, so they're probably among my current favorites. But there's so many. Like I don't know. I fuck. Okay, I don't know. I really love
Twiggy,
Giselle. I really love Twiggy for sure. All of the like the old legends like
the
Godiva.
old.
Oh yeah, old. I'm trying to think of who else. Like Bo Creep, love Bo Creep,
Yeah,
love Cersei's a good friend. Ammonia, I like photograph lots of the Ammonia shows.
obviously.
Obviously, yeah. I don't know, Gemma, like everybody. I
That's
really
over
love
five
everybody. It's really
already.
tough for me to pick people. Like everybody has a different place in my heart.
Who
So
are the who are the performers you love to photograph? Like when you're always excited to like see them. Like you're always excited when you hear the performing. You're always looking forward to like, yes, I can't wait.
call me Keeks.
Okay.
Yeah, love Keeks. Ammonia for sure. I'm coming back to Ammonia. Just a little fangirl.
I love ammonia.
Yeah, like Giselle. Everybody. It's really tough. Like I can't put people into a list because
Yeah.
honestly, like I don't think there's any performers I'm like, ugh, them. Like nobody, because everybody brings their own thing and everybody brings their own. Like I look forward to it all because drag is shocking in its own way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that sounds like probably like the safest answer I could give, but like I
Is it
just
safe
yeah
or is
yeah
it shady?
no no, there's no shade.
So what's your pet peeve, if you have
Oh, a
any?
lace line. Let me tell
For
you.
wigs?
Yeah, there are some people.
Oh my
That's
god.
shade. I will be shady about this. There are some people who do not know how to lay a lace line. I love Photoshop, but please just
Cuts the legs.
cut it a little closer.
Or by
Yeah.
human units.
Yeah, like that's probably my biggest pet peeve. Blocking eyebrows, like sometimes I see the texture and I feel like drag is sort of giving an illusion of whatever that
Yeah,
illusion may be, but like sometimes people don't block their eyebrows quite right. I don't know. Pet peeves aside from looks, not crediting people in your images. That's not even just for me. I've actually messaged people and said you need to credit Darla, you need to credit Agnes. Like I know who took this photo, and maybe other people do, but other people
yeah,
don't. So definitely crediting, and that means even when you talk to a producer, making sure that they get the credits for your photographer. I know that sometimes it's tricky, sometimes it's not possible, but that's a big one. Especially given that like a lot of the photographers are working for free. A lot of the people are
true.
showing up for free and volunteering that time, and so
The
it's that
least you
like
can
give
do,
and take.
yeah.
It's a little bit of a trade there, yeah. So that's a bit of another one. Yeah, that's it for pet peeve. I honestly could probably list a couple more, but yeah, that's it.
We've come towards the end of the show.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Uh,
When is your next show? We're looking forward to see Camera. What's your name?
Chimera lens.
Camera Lens.
Chimera lens. Thank you,
Yeah.
Twiggy. Um, so I don't like maybe in November. That's the show that I was mentioning earlier. Potentially, maybe. I'm not going to talk about it more, but maybe. Um, and then I am.
I'll be there.
I wouldn't support the other ones. Just everybody goes quiet when I get on the stage.
Why do you think that?
No, nobody does. It's
I
that's
think
the
you're
one thing.
awesome. Like you don't have to be like everybody. Like everyone is
Yeah,
unique in their own way. Like
truly,
even
yeah.
when you think you're not doing well, even if you think you're not up
Mhm.
there, I believe like you should have that morale of I'm the real shit. Like I'm that bitch. So
Absolutely. There's
yeah.
definitely a part of like getting into drag that sort of brings that out in people. I think that our scene is very, very supportive. I know there's like different things going on always and whatever, but like generally I think that our scene's really supportive. Maybe not always with ticket sales, maybe not always people are shady or whatever, but they're always the things that like they're what make our scene. They're the things that encourage
Yeah.
discussion. Or like
The good part.
yeah, exactly. And I like when I was in photography school, we did critique, and critique was where they put your picture up on an easel, and everybody would get a chance to rip it apart or say nice things. And we did this for a whole year in our program, and you'd hear your images that you worked so hard on just getting absolutely roasted. And so I love constructive criticism. Truly, I think that it's something that like helps people grow. So yeah, I think that our scene like should be more open to receiving constructive criticism when it is due and when it is necessary.
Do you think there's a
Obviously,
thin line between constructive criticism and being shady?
I think that they can be the same. I learned
Uh,
this though because I'm very blunt. I can be very blunt. I can be sometimes rude. The sandwich method. You say something nice, you say something
bad, yeah.
criticizing, and then you say something else nice. Yeah, sandwich it so people don't feel
Yeah.
like shit. But beyond all of that, I should talk a little bit about my like next step. So last year I photographed 28 artists. I did 56 photo shoots. I interviewed
That's
everybody.
a
It
lot.
was a lot. And then on top of that, I photographed 35 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year I'm currently at 34 shows I photographed. But I'm adding to my like drag.jpg project another 20 people.
Nice.
So it'll be another 20 shoots, another 20 video interviews. We're going to be getting the video interviews from last year up finally. And then I'm hoping to do a launch in May next year. So there will be another show. And yeah, I
So
don't
every year it's just gonna keep getting better
keep getting
then.
bigger. Yeah, my plan is for this year to do more people, and then next year to do maybe Calgary
Well,
and start
nice,
going
yeah. I'll better.
national. Yeah. Fingers
Fingers
crossed.
crossed.
Yeah,
Well, I hope everything works out for you.
thank you.
It's been great having you on my couch, even though it's my Keelan's couch. But
On your couch. It's a very comfortable couch. Yes, with a great view.
Would you like to say anything
Drink water.
and feel good?
Wash your face after you get home. Don't sleep in
Where
makeup.
can we find you on Instagram?
At brendanroy.photographer.
Make sure you tag Brendan. Thank you.